made by NATO Secretary General Mark Rutte, who suggested that US tariffs on India prompted Prime Minister Modi to ask Russian President Vladimir Putin about his Ukraine war strategy. The Ministry of External Affairs called Rutte's statement factually incorrect and entirely baseless. Let's listen into what India's Ministry of External Affairs had to say.
We have seen statement by NATO Secretary General Mr. Mark Rutte regarding a purported phone conversation between Prime Minister of India and President Vladimir Putin of Russia. This statement, let me clarify, is factually incorrect and entirely baseless. At no point has Prime Minister Modi spoken with President Putin in the manner suggested. No such conversation has taken place. We expect the leadership of an important and esteemed institution like NATO to exercise greater responsibility and accuracy in public statements. Speculative or careless remarks that misrepresent the Prime Minister's engagement or suggest conversations that never occurred are unacceptable. As previously stated, India's energy imports are meant to ensure predictable and affordable energy cost to the Indian consumer. India will continue taking all necessary measures to safeguard its national interests and economic security.
Sumit Peer, geopolitical commentator and senior political analyst, joins us on the show. Sumit, this is exactly the kind of misinformation and the slandering that India needs to counter from time to time. I'm happy to see that the Ministry of External Affairs was quick to respond to the NATO chief that, the Prime Minister would never get into this kind of a petty call with Russian Prime Minister and try and figure out what to do about American tariffs. And this is Western propaganda at its best again.
Vinny, thank you for having me on your show. You're absolutely right. Look, when I looked through the video, it's looked like General Rutte was trying to imitate Trump. Is there a new style of mockery which Trump has invented? Is there a new kind of IPR or a patent which must be given to him? Because everybody seems to be copying Trump, and everybody seems to be getting in this state of perpetual hallucination where they imagine things, where they then they get a voice to their ears and they are able to mimic it and they are able to talk it. I mean, he said, Modi getting on a phone track with Putin, say, Putin, what is your strategy? We're being tariffed. How the hell does General Rutte know about this? And even if it happened, how do you exactly know? What are you trying to mimic? What are you trying to say? That means it is an figment of imagination. You are realizing your tariffs are failing. You are imagining that your tariffs are good for nothing. And you are imagining because of all this, you are left high and dry. That is why you are getting desperate and you are trying to pull these stunts. That is how I look at it. Beyond that, Vinny, it is nothing else. And I'm kind of I'm appalled to see this kind of a irresponsible behavior from a NATO chief. I know NATO is not a power bloc anymore. I know, there have been at least 7 or 8 times when Russians have violated the NATO territory in last 15 days. I know NATO is only talking and doing no action. I know NATO doesn't have the arsenal to fight even Putin. But, then you are trying to prove your bravado for creating these concocted conversations and trying to create an illusion and a delusion which never happened. And I'm very happy that the MEA has kind of rebutted it, because that is what it should have happened. And honestly, Vineet, even if for just the sake of argument, if this call happened between Mr. Putin and Mr. Modi, how the hell does General Rutte know? How does he know what Putin spoke want? And it is that Trump's perpetual state of lying where he says, oh, I called this Indian, I say, there's going to be trade. And I told them, call me in morning. And they call me back, hey, say, Mr. President, we have the deal. They call me in 5 hours. Well, no such conversation happens. Are these people trying to be the cheerleaders of Trump? Are they trying to race each other who can get better marks with the Trump? Are they just trying to give Trump a face and keep their jobs? Is this what NATO is about? Is this what is left of NATO? Is this what a General Rutte, kind of a 4-star general or 5-star general, is this what he should be behaving and doing it? When they are asked that tough questions, what are you doing vis-a-vis military? We need yesterday, Alaskan zone was violated by Russians. They sent Tu-95s, they sent those few other aircrafts into the Alaskan air defense zone. And what did America do? They literally did nothing. They flew a few and F-16s and nothing. Before that, Baltic Sea. Before that, Estonia. Putin violated Estonia. The planes MiG-31s, 3 armed MiG-31s were there for 12 minutes, 100 kilometers deep into Estonia. What did NATO do? Nothing. before that Copenhagen, before that Poland. Putin is testing each and every flank of NATO. And yesterday he went inside Alaskan Air Defense Identification Zone, and tried and kind of tested their resolve. Is it
All
wrong
right.
that Trump is saying shoot down NATO planes?
Yeah.
I mean, what kind of a rhetoric are we talking here in the world? Do you want to push world to World War III?
Yeah.
This is irresponsible. This is
You're abs-
absurd.
You're absolutely right, Sumit. Once again, you're absolutely right. And thank you so much for taking out the time and speaking with NewsX World. Well, that's all we have time